Walter asked me to come up after the service to meet the presenter of those scrolls out at the Baptist church in the country. And he said, "Where do you keep your scrolls?" He said, "In the trunk of my car." And Walter said, "Well, how do you protect them?" And he says, "I roll them up in blankets." Walter said immediately, "I'd like to make you an offer. If you will let us store these at the Christian Heritage Foundation, which lives in downtown Cleburne, we'll honor Israel that way. We'll honor your scrolls that way. We'll protect them. We will put in a new security system. I'll even insure them for you." Now that was the secret word, insure them for you. And the guy said, "Okay, let's do that." So for the next almost full year, we had his 10 scrolls at our foundation. And Walter said, and I, of course, I'm the guy, I'm thinking, okay, I've got a new responsibility here. I got to get out on the road and I got to beat the bushes and I got to put it in the paper and I got to take some pictures. And Walter said, "No, I don't want to do any of that. The word will get out. People will come and ask you to see them." Sure enough, before long, we had a string of people wanting to come and see these scrolls. And they did. Eventually, this gentleman called after about a year and he said, "I need to talk to you and Walter." I said, "Okay." And he said, "I think the Lord has impressed me to move my set of scrolls from your place of business up the road to the Creation Evidence Museum." I said, "Yeah, we know Dr. Baugh and we like Dr. Baugh too." And he said, "So," and Walter said, "Well, what am I going to do now to honor Israel? It's been one of the best years of my life." And Gary says, "I don't know. I really don't." And Walter said, "Let's just get another set." He says, "Walter, you can't just walk into Walmart and pick these up." Walter says, "No, but if God wants us to have one, we will. And if he doesn't, we'll be satisfied." And Gary says, "You know, I actually think it'll be impossible." And Walter says, God and I just love that word. That was in December of one year. In January, the end of January, a month later, Walter passed away with a massive heart attack. Walter didn't get to be here today, but I'm here to connect the dots. Is this impossible or not? We have a full set who had been part of the IDF, that's Israeli Defense Force. He was an inactive colonel. We called him, said, "We know you're inactive in the military, but here's what we've done, but we don't know what to do now." And he said, "Well, you're in luck. I have an import-export license. I can get them to you." From the moment he called me and said, "Okay, they're sent." And I went, "Okay, did you put them in an envelope? Did Mail Pack fix them up for me?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it, but it's going to take a while." I said, "Okay." 4 months. 4 months later, me worrying every day, they showed up. Those 5 scrolls, and they're up here behind me. Since that time, took us 4 years as we prayed and as we sought and as we looked around antiquity dealers in Israel, talking to other people that might have them. Gary Zimmerman, who had gotten his in the same fashion. But here we have an entire set. Some of them had to be written for us in order to have a full set because we couldn't find them in antiquity. We just found them by having them written for us. So you might consider those new. But you know what? If I were to sell these to a Jewish man, the only ones he wants are the new ones. He said, "They're all identical. I want one I can keep forever. The rest of those are going to go out of commission or they're going to turn into ashes long before the new ones do." So they want new. Us Texans want old.